Hi, I'm Rosemary Benson. I'm an audiobook narrator, and I'm pleased to be among the voices of calm that I hope will soothe you through these long days. I'm choosing to read a piece written by a poet who lived in my hometown. I've heard this poem read many times from this book that is treasured by my family. As you can see, it's well loved. And while you may think this is a sad poem, I'd like to add a happy postscript at the end. This is called The House with Nobody in It by Joyce Kilmer. Whenever I walk to Suffern along the Erie track, I go by a poor old farmhouse with its shingles broken and black. I suppose I've passed it 100 times, but I always stop for a minute and look at the house, the tragic house, the house with nobody in it. I never have seen a haunted house, but I hear there are such things, that they hold the talk of spirits, their mirth and sorrowings. I know this house isn't haunted, and I wish it were. I do, for it wouldn't be so lonely if it had a ghost or two. This house on the road to Suffern needs a dozen panes of glass, and somebody ought to weed the walk and take a scythe to the grass. It needs new paint and shingles, and the vines should be trimmed and tied. But what it needs the most of all is some people living inside. If I had a lot of money and all my debts were paid, I'd put a gang of men to work with brush and saw and spade. I'd buy that place and fix it up the way it used to be. And I'd find some people who wanted a home and give it to them for free. Now, a new house standing empty with staring window and door looks idle, perhaps, and foolish, like a hat on its block in the store. But there's nothing mournful about it. It cannot be sad and lone for the lack of something within it that it has never known. But a house that has done what a house should do, a house that has sheltered life, that has put its loving wooden arms around a man and his wife, a house that has echoed a baby's laugh and held up his stumbling feet, is the saddest sight when it's left alone that ever your eyes could meet. So whenever I go to Suffern along the Erie track, I never go by the empty house without stopping and looking back. Yet it hurts me to look at the crumbling roof and the shutters fallen apart. For I can't help thinking the poor old house is a house with a broken heart. Well, I'd like to add a happy ending, if I could, to this poem. That house is an actual house, and I walked by it many, many times. It was right across the street from where one of my best friends lived. And it was eventually fixed up, and it became a tavern called Nobody's Inn. And every week, well-loved musicians would play there and play music for everyone. And that's what the house with nobody in it became, a tavern called Nobody's Inn. So I hope you enjoyed the happy ending, and I hope you can remember that happy endings can happen.